Ladies and gentlemen, today we're peeling back the curtain on one of rock and roll's most celebrated legends, Eddie Van Halen, a man whose electrifying guitar riffs defined a generation. He was a genius, a trailblazer, and a symbol of unapologetic rebellion. But beneath the spotlight, Eddie carried dark demons that haunted him, even during moments that should have been his happiest. This is the story of how a single wedding reception revealed the raw truth about Eddie Van Halen's battle with his inner darkness. In the late 1980s, Eddie Van Halen was on top of the world. Van Halen, the band he co-founded, was dominating the charts with hits like Jump and Panama. Eddie's revolutionary guitar technique had cemented him as a musical icon. And to top it off, he was madly in love with the actress Valerie Bertinelli, whom he married in 1981. Their wedding was a fairy tale, with Hollywood stars mingling alongside rock royalty. But even fairy tales have their shadows, and Eddie's life was no exception. His struggles with addiction and mental health were well documented, though often downplayed in public. Behind his charming smile and blistering solos was a man grappling with the immense pressures of fame and personal demons that refused to let go. Fast forward to a few years after their marriage, when Eddie and Valerie attended a friend's wedding reception. The atmosphere was electric, a room filled with laughter, clinking glasses, and the promise of new beginnings. But as the evening wore on, guests began to notice something unusual. Eddie Van Halen, the life of any party, was missing. At first, no one thought much of it. After all, Eddie was known for his eccentricities. Perhaps he was taking a moment to himself or catching up with an old friend. But as the minutes turned into hours, concern began to ripple through the crowd. It was Eddie's manager who first realized something was wrong. While searching for him, he heard unsettling sounds coming from the bathroom, a mixture of groans and muffled banging. The noise was alarming enough that he decided to investigate further. After knocking on the door and receiving no response, the manager's concern turned into panic. He broke open the door, and what he found inside was nothing short of a macabre scene. Eddie Van Halen was slumped on the floor, surrounded by broken glass and disarray. His face was pale, his breathing labored. It was clear that he was in the throes of a severe substance abuse episode. Empty bottles and drug paraphernalia littered the room, painting a grim picture of the battle Eddie was waging against his addictions. This was not just a private moment of despair, it was a cry for help from a man who had long struggled to reconcile his extraordinary talent with the relentless pressures of his life. The incident was quickly covered up. Guests were told that Eddie had simply felt unwell and needed some time to recover. Valerie and a close circle of friends helped him through the rest of the evening, shielding him from judgment and prying eyes. But behind closed doors, the reality of Eddie's struggles was impossible to ignore. Valerie later admitted in interviews that their marriage was deeply affected by Eddie's addictions. She loved him deeply but found it increasingly difficult to navigate the chaos that came with his lifestyle. Eddie Van Halen's battle with addiction was a long and painful journey. He entered rehab multiple times, each attempt a testament to his desire to overcome his demons. But like many who struggle with addiction, the road to recovery was not linear. Despite his struggles, Eddie continued to create groundbreaking music. His passion for his craft never waned, and his guitar became both his sanctuary and his weapon against the darkness. When Eddie passed away in 2020, the world lost one of its greatest musical innovators. Tributes poured in from fans, fellow musicians, and celebrities, all praising his genius and the indelible mark he left on the world of music. But as we celebrate his legacy, it's important to remember the man behind the myth, a man who was as vulnerable as he was brilliant. Eddie Van Halen's life was a reminder that even the brightest stars can carry the heaviest burdens. The story of Eddie Van Halen's wedding reception is not just a tale of darkness, it's a testament to the complexity of the human spirit. It's about the struggles that often go unseen, even in the lives of those we admire most. Eddie's music will continue to inspire generations, but his life offers a powerful lesson. No matter how untouchable someone may seem, they are still human, grappling with fears, insecurities, and challenges that we may never fully understand. Eddie's journey was not just about struggle but also about resilience. Despite the lows, he never stopped creating. His music reflected his emotions, sometimes chaotic, sometimes euphoric, but always honest. It's this raw authenticity that connected him to millions of fans. He was a pioneer who changed the way we think about music, inspiring countless musicians to push boundaries. Even in his darkest hours, Eddie Van Halen's genius shone through. His ability to channel his pain into art is what makes his legacy so profound. It's also important to acknowledge Valerie Bertinelli's role in his life. While their marriage had its share of turbulence, she stood by him during many of his toughest battles. Their love story may not have lasted forever, but their bond remained strong, even after they parted ways. Valerie's later revelations about Eddie's struggles provide a humanizing glimpse into the man behind the rock star image. She never shied away from speaking about his vulnerabilities, ensuring his story was told with honesty and compassion. Eddie's passing in 2020 left a void in the music world, but his influence remains undeniable. His groundbreaking techniques, including the iconic tapping method, continue to inspire guitarists globally. As fans, we celebrate the music he gave us, but we must also honor the human being behind the artistry. Eddie's story serves as a powerful reminder to check in on those we care about, no matter how strong they may appear. To everyone watching, let Eddie Van Halen's story be a lesson in empathy and understanding. Behind every icon is a person. Valerie's later revelations about Eddie's struggles provide a humanizing glimpse into the man behind the rock star image. She never shied away from speaking about his vulnerabilities, ensuring his story was told with honesty and compassion. Eddie's passing in 2020 left a void in the music world, but his influence remains undeniable. His groundbreaking techniques, including the iconic tapping method, continue to inspire guitarists globally. As fans, we celebrate the music he gave us, but we must also honor the human being behind the artistry. Eddie's story serves as a powerful reminder to check in on those we care about, no matter how strong they may appear. To everyone watching, let Eddie Van Halen's story be a lesson in empathy and understanding. Behind every icon is a person with struggles, joys, and vulnerabilities. Let's remember to celebrate not just their achievements but their humanity. Thank you for spending this time with me as we uncovered the highs and lows of Eddie Van Halen's extraordinary life. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the lives of the legends who've shaped our culture. Until next time, keep the music alive and remember to show kindness, it's the least we can do for one another. See you soon.